Hello, hockey fans. The Minnesota Hockey Connection is on the air. We're on the air for the next half hour. I'm Kenny Gallagher along with Jerry Burrow. And Jerry, we've got hockey tonight in Cloquet. Tonight being Monday, May 11th. The Wilderness and Aberdeen play Game 5. The winner goes to Duluth.
Duluth Heritage Center for the Robertson Cup.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the game tonight?
Boy, that's a weird series. I mean, they went out there the series 1-1, and they went out to Aberdeen last weekend, Friday, Saturday night. First night, I think they beat them, 4-1?
Okay.
Yeah. And then the next night, Aberdeen comes back and beats them 5-2. I mean, wait a minute.
Now, was it game 1 or 2 in Cloquet where there was an overtime loss by the Wilderness?
Right. The first game, it went 2 overtimes right at the end of the second overtime, almost 100 minutes of play. And the funny thing about it, the Wilderness were ahead in that game, 3-1. And then then all of a sudden Aberdeen just kept coming on. You knew this is not good.
Well, this is a good hockey team up in Cloquet, the Minnesota Wilderness. You've got the former East Boys, a Hermantown kid, a new head coach,
right,
replacing Corey Millen. Did they win it last year or the year before?
Year before.
Yeah, the year before.
Yeah.
And
Fairbanks won it last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So a win tonight to Monday the 11th by the Wilderness, and they're going to be in the Robertson Cup finals that are going to be held at the Duluth Heritage Center this year, May 11th
through the 14th. Yeah.
Yeah. What's tonight? I think
this is Monday.
The 8th.
Yeah.
Tonight's the 8th.
And the first game is going to be at 3:30, and if the Wilderness win tonight, that they'll be playing Aston out on the first game at the Heritage Center at 3:30, and then Lone Star, which is in the Dallas suburbs, will be playing, Janesville, Wisconsin.
Okay.
So those two teams will play at 7:30.
Yeah.
So that'll be the same on Friday, and if either of those series go to the third game, then it's 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock for those teams.
Yeah.
So, but it's the best out of 3. And then 2 winners of those series play on Sunday at 1 o'clock.
The championship.
Yes.
Now, when do they fit in the prospects?
The prospects is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't know the exact time they're going on, but they'll playing a lot of games, and there'll be about 6 teams they're trying to get.
This is something new that the NAHL is doing. They've done it, I think, since 2014.
Yeah, they've done it.
Talk a little bit about exactly what this is.
It's basically kids that they're looking for to play in the North American
New recruits.
Hockey. Yeah. Take a look at them. So, hey, let's keep a watch on this, and gives a lot of the coaches in the league time to look at some new kids and that.
And these kids are born in what years?
2001 to 2004. So they're basically
young kids.
They're
young kids.
They're 13, 14, 15, 14, 15, 16,
but at
17.
At this, you're going to have scouts, the junior scouts, college scouts.
Pro scouts.
Pro scouts.
Oh, yeah. There'll be pro scouts, too.
All right. Well, this is kind of neat. I think this is a nice added feature, if you will. Again, this isn't the first time they've done this, but I think it's quite fitting that they do it this time of the year and squeeze it in around this tournament. This sounds like a really neat little tournament that the NAHL has.
And I hope it goes good here in Minnesota, because it can come back here next year at Duluth if it goes over well. And I think, especially if the Wilderness gets in, I think it will go big.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get some big crowds in there.
Well, yeah. Regardless, I think that they're going to do well. If you want tickets, if you want to attend the Robertson Cup at the Heritage, go to the Heritage for tickets or go online to nahl.com. And, this is big. Now, today, the NAHL just released a press release that UMD head coach Scott Sandlin will be featured at their luncheon. Now, unfortunately, it's not open to the public.
Right.
It's only open to the media, but the luncheon takes place.
And the players. They'll have the players there, too.
Yeah, this is Thursday, May 11th at noon at the Holiday Inn in downtown Duluth. Scotty Sandlin, of course, head coach of the UMD Bulldogs. and he's going to be the featured speaker at the luncheon. And the NAHL Robertson Cup Championship begins Thursday, May 11th, through the Sunday the 14th at the Essentia Health Duluth Heritage Sports Center. And the Robertson Cup crowns the NAHL's national champion on Sunday. Wow.
There you go.
This is great.
And it's kind of funny, the 3 teams that are already in there, they won their series already. Aston, back east.
Aston?
ASTON.
Where is that? Do you know?
It's in, I think it's in north, up in upper Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And Janesville, and then the Lone Star Brahmas down in the Dallas area. And so funny, during the season, the regular season, those 3 teams were the top point getters in their league.
Oh,
in the league. So they got the right ones. I mean, they won they were the top during the year, and they're top in the playoffs.
Well, there's no question that the local favorite is the Wilderness, based in Cloquet. Would the Robertson Cup staff like to see a Duluth-based, a Cloquet-based team here? Of course they would. But the best team tonight will go Aberdeen or the Wilderness, and let's hope it's the Wilderness.
Yeah, and I wonder if Aberdeen would go all the way back home.
I doubt it.
I think there's, like, Fairbanks stays for 2 weeks when they had playoff games down here. They just stayed down here until they won the whole thing 2 years ago.
Yeah. Well, you got to believe that they're going to, it'd only be a 2-day trip.
Yeah, but it's back and forth.
Home.
That's a lot of time wasted. But depends on the owner and that. If they have the money, it's extra money they have to pay out, that the team would.
The Holiday Inn is the partner with the Heritage, or rather with the Robertson Cup NAHL, and the Holiday Inn will be buzzing with hockey players, hockey fans, and it's an exciting time. It really is.
Yeah, that's a very good sponsor.
Now
they really help out in the hockey community here.
The Holiday Inn?
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. I know there's other primary sponsors as well. Wish we could name them all.
Well, for the food, I know some of them are the Clyde Iron.
Yep.
They're doing help. Duluth Grail.
Okay.
It's doing some. Blackwoods.
Okay.
So there's a lot of other, like you say, a lot of sponsors are helping out in this, and I really take my hat off to them, for helping the hockey community.
Okay. Well, your hair's nice and neat for taking your hat off.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So, the Heritage Sports Center, the scene for the Robertson Cup, starting Thursday the 11th through Sunday. The championship game is on Sunday. And I think the Heritage is going to see some of the largest crowds. You get an East Denfeld game, you get an East Superior game, the local teams, maybe East or Hermantown Denfeld. They get good crowds. But I think we're going to see crowds there that they've really never seen before.
You think so?
I think so.
Oh, good.
I think so.
I hope you're right.
Capacity crowds expected at Heritage beginning Thursday with the Robertson Cup in Duluth.
And by the way, like Kenny was saying, tickets. Just to give you some of the prices, the whole pass for all the games is $50, and if you're a student or a senior or military, it's only $40. So you get all 4 days, all the games, plus if you want to watch the prospects games and what they do, you can watch that too there. And then if you just want to go one day, it's $20 a day, and then students are $15, the military and seniors $15. So hey, you can't go wrong. I mean, UMD games are anywhere from 25 to 40. So
yeah. Last week, the NHL playoffs, former UMD Bulldog, a Virginia, Minnesota native, Matt Niskanen, was involved in a play with Sidney Crosby. And a lot of people said it was a cheap shot. He cross-checked him to the face. He got a cross-checking and a match. Did he get he got a game misconduct in that? And after...
No, I don't think he did.
Yeah.
I don't think he did.
5-minute major? Game misconduct?
He didn't get a game misconduct. He just got out of that game.
But a lot of folks said it was a dirty play. And listen, Matt Niskanen, is not a dirty player. He never has been. That's not his game. That's not his reputation. If you watch the play from all the angles,
Sid lost his balance a little bit from the first guy that hit him.
It was just an awkward situation. It really was.
Seemed like he lost his balance and he was lower than normal.
Matt's holding on to his stick. He's starting to kind of fall forward. And did he give him a little extra oomph? Maybe he did. It's hockey. It's contact. How often do you see cross-checking in this sport and it's never called? The fact that Sid got a concussion out of this, but he's back to playing, that's not a good thing. He's got a history of concussions.
Right.
Personally, I don't like Pittsburgh. I haven't liked them
now
since...
it's coming out.
I haven't liked them since '91 when
they
they beat the North Stars in the Stanley Cup.
Oh, Jesus. That says it all.
But regardless of that, it's not, when you're arguably best player in the league suffers a concussion, I don't know if that's good for the game necessarily. But again, he's back and playing. I don't know how healthy he is. I hope he's healthy. But Sidney is also among 3 finalists for the NHL's Ted Lindsay Award. It's given annually to the league's most outstanding player, voted on by the Players Association. The other finalists are San Jose defenseman, former Minnesota Wild Brent Burns, and Edmonton center Connor McDavid. Crosby's looking to win this award for his 4th time in his career. Burns and McDavid would both be first-time winners. The winner will be announced June 21st during the 2017 NHL Awards at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas.
Wow.
But what did you think about that play? I mean, at first glance and from a angle behind Niskanen, it looks pretty bad.
Well, the thing is, it's Sid the Kid. If it's any other player, you wouldn't think he'd take a second look at it. But it's Sid the Kid.
Yeah.
Sidney, and it's sad that he's had so many concussions and that, and I think just light hits and all gives him a concussion. But I thought he was off balance himself.
Yes.
His body was lower than normal. And sometimes, you're going fast and you're moving fast and everything is fast. Watching it on TV, you don't see how fast it is on the ice,
Sure.
And you just can't stop on a dime and stuff like that.
Well, again, taking all that into consideration, Niskanen's not a dirty player. The game is played at full speed ahead. Coming away from the net on a goal-scoring attempt in an awkward position, everything, momentum, Niskanen falling forward. I don't even know if it was a penalty. Right. Really, to be honest with you.
And by the way, they're playing in Pittsburgh tonight if Pittsburgh wins, that series is over.
But I got to tell you, Jer, I'm getting sick and tired of watching the NHL and all these cross checks that aren't called.
Right.
It happens nearly every game. So
yeah, there's been a lot of them last couple weeks that they won't call the first 2, and then all of a sudden they call one. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
The other one was a lot worse than that one.
I think it's the most egregious penalty in hockey.
Right.
You've got both hands on a stick, and you're lunging that stick towards
It's a weapon.
A defenseless player, and
a lot of times it's around the board.
That
can be double injury.
It's the least called infraction in the NHL.
Well, I remember when they're trying to speed up the game and they didn't want that holding, grabbing through the neutral zone. And at first couple of weeks, when they had the new rule, they're calling everything.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they never call anything no more than that through the neutral zone. They're doing more of that stick work and holding. It's just funny sometimes.
Well, I was watching some video, actually, of some 90 playoff games. And I would go back to that style of hockey any day over what the NHL is.
By the way, you're not too happy when Pittsburgh beat you in 91 there?
No.
My friends and I, we went up to Boulder, Colorado to watch the game.
Okay.
And all these Minnesota people were in all the bars up there. And they were really ready to go that game.
Yeah.
And how many goals did we lose by? Was it running time?
Yeah. Was it 7-0, 8-0?
It was terrible.
Pittsburgh
We
won.
couldn't believe it.
Yeah, Pittsburgh won the Stanley Cup on Minnesota's home ice. It was a shutout, 7 or 8-0. And Minnesota was up 2-1 in that series. And then Mario Lemieux got healthy. He was out the first 3 games, I believe, and he came back. And there's still a highlight reel of him beating John Casey on a breakaway that we're seeing just way too much. But That was a good team. That Pittsburgh team was good. Yarmer Yager and the cast of others.
So have you been watching a lot of the Stanley Cup so far?
As much as I can.
So what teams do you like right now?
Nashville.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
They're gonna. That's the first time they got past the second round.
I think Nashville is the one team that can slow down and stop Edmonton.
That goalie's hot.
Becca.
Yeah, Becca.
Well, the whole team is. And the fact that they swept Chicago in the opening round.
They're not big scorers, but they're very good defensively.
I like their coach, Laviolette. I've always liked his style. I've always thought he was a good coach. And here they are in the Western Conference Finals, awaiting the outcome of Anaheim and Edmonton. And Edmonton's playing, this is in Anaheim, isn't it?
Yep.
This game is in Anaheim.
But that's another series I think is so weird. The last 3 games, 3 games ago, Anaheim's behind 2-0 up in Edmonton. It's up in Edmonton. And they came back and won that game. Then they went down back to Anaheim. They're behind 3-0. They came back and won 4-3 in overtime. And then now they go back up to Edmonton, and they're behind 6-0. Just the first start of the second period.
Isn't that something?
6 goals, and Pee-wees don't even score that many goals.
Yeah, but the final was 7-1 in that game. So Game 7 is Wednesday. Edmonton at Anaheim. The winner plays Nashville for the Western Conference Championship. And then on the east side, you've got Ottawa and the Rangers.
Right.
And Washington and Pittsburgh.
Right.
Who will it be?
I think Pittsburgh will do it.
Yeah.
Washington, I don't know why, when it comes to the playoffs.
What? Pittsburgh's up 3-2 in the series.
Right. One thing I'll give credit to Washington, they're out shooting Pittsburgh every game. But Pittsburgh scores right away. And Washington has to change their game.
Now, have you heard the status of Sid? Is he cleared to go from here on out?
He played the last game.
I know, but was there a setback or anything? I didn't hear.
I didn't hear anything bad yet.
Neither did I.
And, boy, there's some good teams still.
New York, Ottawa?
Well, that's a tough one. New York gave up 2 games to Ottawa in this series that they never should have lost. And Ottawa, that's a good team, too.
Yeah.
They don't panic.
Well,
but I like New York because they got all these Minnesota kids.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna go with the Minnesota kids.
All right.
Brady Shea, Stephen, McDonough. Who else is there? There's more.
Okay, give it to us.
There's more.
Well, again, the NHL playoffs nearing the final 4 teams. And Nashville, I think without a doubt, is the big surprise. Sweeping Chicago and beating a good St. Louis team.
Well, this is the first year in about 4 or 5 years that my 2 teams are still in it. I haven't been good at picking Stanley Cup.
And who are your 2 teams?
Anaheim. I've had Anaheim for 3 years now.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't done good the last 2 years.
Wouldn't it be something if Anaheim bows out?
Pittsburgh was my other team.
Okay.
So I thought they're playing good at the end of the year.
If Anaheim were to lose this series to Edmonton, the big knock on their coach that we ended up with, Bruce Boudreau, that was the knock against him. He couldn't get through that Game 7. He couldn't get through that playoff.
If they lose, that means it's not Bruce.
Well, there you go.
It's the team.
There you go. Got to blame somebody. So we've got NAHL, the Robertson Cup in Duluth. The NHL playoffs are winding down. What else do we have, Jer? We have any news?
Yeah. You're talking about coaches, or you're talking about news like who's going to be the coach of Hermantown? Or that's news,
Yeah.
but we're still waiting. I wonder why they're taking so long. Mm-hmm. I think they knew who's going to be the coach, they're holding back on it.
Well, Bruce Plante, who was up there for, 28 years or something?
Yeah.
And he, I'm sure that the people that make these decisions, he may have given them some suggestions or ideas. Who knows? Maybe he just stepped back and thought, I'm not going to say anything. This isn't my deal to decide. But I think that Hermantown is in a good position where they've got still a good core. They still have a good community base regarding their hockey, And I think they're going to be okay coming out of this, but it's any thoughts on who you think it might be?
Well, I forget his name now, but he was the Bantam coach, but he helped out with the high school this last year, is my bet. But I forget his name.
You know, I know Mike Sertich helped out up there a few years back. He was helping out.
I think he helped out more with the Bantams and the kids that are coming up to the high school.
If there's any discussions with former UMD head hockey coach Mike Sertich to coach that Hermantown team.
I think he's out fishing. I don't think he wants to.
That could be.
Because after that, he went up to St. Scholastica and assistant coach up there for a couple years with Mark Wick.
Yeah.
And then he stopped that too. So.
How much of a chore is it to coach a high school team? How often are these coaches on the ice, these teams?
Well, every day of the week when they don't have a game. They just don't practice on Saturday and Sundays. Usually Saturday's the game time, and Sundays the high school league won't allow you.
Okay.
So if they don't have a game, they're on the ice every day.
Okay, so Saturday they have a game. Sunday they're off. What are they doing Monday?
There's 3 hours of practice, most teams, with JV and in the varsity.
Okay, then the next day they got a Tuesday game.
And then plus these kids have to go work out 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay, now what is the team doing on Wednesday after that Tuesday game?
They're practicing.
Thursday.
Practicing.
Friday.
Practicing if they don't have
Saturday.
A game. Saturday is up to the coach.
Okay.
But, if they don't, but most
Sunday
teams
they're off.
Most teams have a game on
Their
Saturday.
next scheduled game is the following Tuesday. What are they doing on that Monday?
Practicing.
And then Tuesday, really? So that's the schedule, huh?
Yes.
That's a pretty frantic pace.
Yeah, but then you get Bantams, that traveling team that plays 60 games, which is over twice as many as the high school. And if they're not, they practice every day.
No.
And sometimes some of these teams, I know East and that, just because they go down to the cities a lot, and they have to take these bus trips that take 2-3 hours, and their legs, so they might have an extra half an hour in that, and they'll go out and skate around the ice at home before they take off and get on the bus.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, I never played high school hockey, but during my playing days at Lower Chester, we would have a game. And I think we only scheduled one practice.
Yeah, but it was different hockey. We're rink rats.
And that was going to be my next thought is that, but the night we weren't playing or had that practice, we were at the rink as kids, just on our own, no coaches, just kind of a relaxed atmosphere, a little competition, but nothing too fierce.
Well, it's kind of fun. I know Duluth East, a lot of the kids over the last 25 years. And a lot of them, after practice, it might be 8 o'clock, 7:30, and that. They'll go to one of the rinks and play then.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Well, to me...
In the Twin Cities, you don't see that at all, because I look at the rinks when I was down there and drive around. There's no one out there.
The days of rink ratting when all the kids, and rink ratting basically is just simply going to the rink and just having a nonchalant game of hockey.
You're having fun.
Exactly, and that allows you to be creative.
Right.
Maybe do something, try something you wouldn't try in a game. There's so much structure in the practice that maybe you wouldn't, try this nifty move or whatever it might be, and you're just doing different things, and it makes you a better player.
That's why a lot of kids, they might start at 7, 8 years old and playing mites or something like that, but then it gets so structured, and say you're a great skater, so you're on their top team, and all of a sudden, so structured, the kids 3-4 years stop having fun, or the pressure, or the dad might be yelling at what you did wrong this time, and it's not fun no more.
Yeah.
And when you take the fun away, your heart's not in it. And if you don't have heart, you're not going to get to the next level. If you want to play hockey the next level, you got to have, when you get out of high school, if you don't have the heart and brains, you're not going anywhere. You can have all the skill in the world, but it's not going to help you.
When I was growing up, I played at Lower Chester. There was also a skating rink at Jefferson Elementary.
A little teeny one.
Wasn't a hockey rink, but we would go there, and we would set up our goals. They were just snow chunks. And we would play into the wee hours and walk a block or two, however far we had to go, depending on who it was. I think I was about 2 blocks away then. And, boy, great memories.
Yeah.
And, that's the thing that I don't want to say it's lost, but it is that these kids don't have knowledge.
Right.
I mean, they still get out there to some degree on their own time, but not in a collective fashion like we used to. Everybody did it.
Well, it costs so much to run these rinks, and if you don't get these kids to practice by time and that, these rinks can't maintain. And so that's another reason why they contract out for the whole season, how many hours and that. And, it gets pretty expensive. If they didn't have to do that, I'm sure there'll be a lot more rink riding all over the state.
We learned a few weeks ago that St. Cloud will host Hockey Day Minnesota next season. Do we know any teams
No,
yet,
they haven't mentioned the teams. Well, the two St. Cloud teams will be in it.
Cathedral and...
St. Cloud. That merged with Apollo and Tech merged.
Okay, so what is that team?
I don't know what they're called now.
All right.
I don't know I forget what they were called.
What about a girls' team? Do they have girls hockey in St. Cloud? I mean, high school?
I think they do have one team.
Yeah. So they'll get a game out of this, I would think.
I have to check that out.
All right. Well, I know it's still kind of early. I just thought maybe you being the hockey person with all your knowledge.
I've heard rumors all over from Moorhead on. They're even thinking of putting St. Cloud Cathedral against St. Cloud.
Oh, that'd be kind of neat.
So, but one's a AA and one's a A team.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter. It's just fun. And then bring in two good teams like I've heard like Moorhead and Edina.
Okay.
Like for the AA game, for the big game.
Yeah.
That. But
Duluth teams have been pretty well represented in these outdoor games.
Well, they like good northern teams.
Yeah.
They want to. That's their whole reason. Hockey Day Minnesota. You gotta.
Now, last year there was no Duluth team involved.
Right.
The year previous, we hosted it here, the 10th annual.
Well, you had the area teams, Stillwater and Montemita, and then Stillwater played. That was a good game. I mean, Eden Prairie and Stillwater were 1-2 at the time.
Yeah.
And then Montemita, who did they play?
I know that there was some speculation as to where it would be prior to St. Cloud. A lot of people thought it was St. Cloud. You had mentioned,
Eveleth.
The Iron Range. Maybe then, after this one in 2018, we can look forward to 2019, that Eveleth has a pretty good chance of maybe getting the hockey.
But it might go down south more. They might call that northern, above the cities. But it's really kind of even, isn't it, if you really think about it, going up to 94. We'll see.
Yeah.
But...
Well, we've just got a couple of minutes here. Again, the NAHL Robertson Cup Championship in Duluth at Heritage Sports Center. Holiday Inn is the epicenter for coaches, fans, and players. And that all gets started Thursday with a luncheon at noon. Scott Sandlin is the featured speaker. Again, the public's not invited, but maybe he can sneak in.
But the first game is 3:30, and it might be the Wilderness if they win tonight.
Yeah.
So they'll go against Aspen, the Eastern Division champion.
There you go. We're taping Monday the 8th, Game 5 tonight in Cloquet, Aberdeen and Wilderness. Let's hope the Wilderness can win and represent this area on their home rink. Or
get some local players.
Rink nearby, we'll say. It's not their home rink, but that'd be great. So with that, we want to thank the staff at PACT-TV that produced the show. Go to our Facebook page, Minnesota Hockey Connection on Facebook, and like us there. Also, our regular website, minnesotahockeyconnection.com. Look for us on YouTube. All of our episodes are put up on YouTube, rather. And check with your local cable subscriber. If they don't have Minnesota Hockey Connection, tell them you'd like them to have it, and maybe they can arrange that. Until then, we'll be back here next week. Jared, drop the puck.
All right.